What's up, my nerds? What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Podcasting While Nerdy. You're here at DatNerdADC and Branden2K.
What's up, geeks?
What's going on? And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. So we're not going to hold you. Let's get right into it, man.
Absolutely.
So first off, Chris Pratt has stated that he's going to return as Star-Lord. Not only return as Star-Lord, but he's confident he'll join the DCU as well. He'll be the first major one to do this. I mean, you've had little small parts like Zachary Levi was in a Thor movie and he's been Shazam, stuff like that. But if Chris Pratt is right when saying this or hinting at this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but he'll be the first major one to probably be doing both simultaneously.
He'll be the first one ever to do it. And don't get me wrong, guys. There's been, like you said, small parts going here and there, back and forth. No one's ever done this. This would be unprecedented. But let me tell you this much. This is probably the only guy that could actually pull it off so far. I think Tom Hiddleston could probably pull it off too. Chris Hemsworth, if he was put in the right role. But, this is a guy who was the main character of a long-running series in the MCU. He is Star-Lord. He's an established guy. It's like RDJ and Iron Man. It's just synonymous now. There can't be just like a replacement Star-Lord. So him returning is not that surprising to me. Him joining the DCU, we've been talking about it. If you guys have been following us for a while, we've been talking about him being Booster Gold. So make sure you guys stay tuned, because if this happens, he'll be the first, because this is going to be probably the only guy that's going to be able to do it simultaneously. I don't think anybody will ever, again, probably attempt to even try. But Chris Pratt, James Gunn, they're the homies. They love each other. So not shocking this is going down this way, but he's probably the only guy.
I was going to say what you want to say about Gunn, but it's because of Gunn that this is happening. Gunn is basically the person who's been able to make that bridge a bridge, right? Because of his time with Marvel and his relationship with Kevin Feige. Let's not forget, James Gunn and Kevin Feige are super close, really good friends.
It's probably why he got the job at DC, guys. Don't get me wrong. They called Feige and probably asked him, hey, could this guy do the job? And he probably definitely said yes. They are good friends, but also James Gunn looks up to Kevin Feige and wanted to do what Kevin Feige does. So I think I'm not shocked one bit.
Me either. I think we're ever going to get a DC Marvel movie.
No.
But they're going to be much more willing to share talent. I think now more than ever. So
I agree.
I'm excited for this, and just give me good movies. Give me good.
That's all we want.
So speaking of competing for things, Chris Hemsworth, all people, competed with his brother Liam for the Thor role. Chris said recently in an interview that had to be one killer audition. Now, I'm sorry, Liam, but not really going against. Chris wasn't really going against somebody that I think really was hard to compete against. Liam has never really done it for me as far as an actor. There's not a role I'm going wow, Liam killed that part. He was an okay Gale. He was an okay Gale.
Yeah, we'll see how he does with Witcher. I forgot he got that. I don't know.
Yeah, taking over Brandon.
Kind of stiff for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they wanted to talk to both brothers. If you get the younger brother, you get the series to run longer. Surprised that they talked to both brothers. I'm not surprised there was competition. I'd like to know the definition of the competition, because I guarantee Liam probably didn't make it past first cuts. But this is cool. I wish it's one of those things where you go back and go, what if? And the only thing that makes sense to me is him being younger. He's not a better actor or anything. And then it's definitely interesting. It would definitely have changed a lot of things if Liam would have gotten the role.
If I put a gun to somebody's head, it was name me 5 iconic Liam Hemsworth roles.
You reach just a little. Because he's my second one that I'm thinking of.
I think Tom Hiddleston also originally tried out for Thor before he got low-key as well. I think
he did. But blonde hair, I don't know.
Yeah. But we ended up with the right Thor. I would say Liam Hemsworth went on to do good things, but I would be lying if I said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all 5 of you Liam Hemsworth fans. I'm sorry I disappointed 5% of the viewers, and that's being generous.
I can buy myself flowers.
Who I would definitely buy flowers. I'd do anything for this girl. Supergirl has got a release window of July 2025. Now, this is the initial release. Expect this to change several times, like any movie, but the initial release window is July of 2025.
Ain't no way.
And we got ourselves a Supergirl, right?
We do. Millie Alcott of Game of Thrones, House of Dragons fame, plays Rhaenyra Targaryen. Very, very, very good.
So you're happy with this casting?
We'll see. You have a very good actress. I need to hear her English accent. I'm sorry. I need to hear her American accent. And then it's not necessarily thick. She's a very proper speaking person. And Cara L is fly by the seat of her pants, Valley Girl type, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Again, guys, they're not casting bad actors, and I'm not ripping on DC on purpose. I just see things. The accent going away is going to be very important for me. It's a very serious role she's in. It just depends on the tone. It tells me that the tone, all these castings on DC side are kind of giving us tones of the movies as well, guys. The Superman castings, these are all serious, young, but very serious, good actors. They're not going out and finding rookies. They're not going out and finding bums off the street. They're not saying, hey, we're going to make your career with this role. They're finding people who can do the job. Millie Alcott can do the job. In my brain, I'm sitting here going, the accent's going to be weird for me just because I'm a hardcore Game of Thrones fan and I don't like DC. So we'll see. But DC is doing a very good job of hiring and casting solid people to do. Apparently they want solid movies because that's what they're trying to do.
That's what they need to do. Speaking of potentially solid picks. So speaking of somebody who's no stranger to DC, of a different universe DC, Asher Angel of Shazam fame, Shazam, has stated that he's interested in the DCU, and specifically he's interested in Nightwing. I think this could potentially be a very good choice. Now, I say introduction or experience with Asher Angel is really just limited to Shazam. If he's done something before that, let us know. And that's not a dig to Asher Angel. I'm just saying I don't know of anything.
Yeah.
But I liked him in Shazam. I mean, he did more acting in the first one than the second one. But I think there's something there that potentially this could be good. What do you think, Brandon?
He's got the look. He looks like Dick Grayson, hardcore. I would say that's probably the most dead ringer for him I've seen in a long time. I would need to see more body of work to make a solid judgment on his acting. But he's got the look. He's got the age. Also depends on what James Gunn's going to do for his Titans because they have to happen. They have to happen unless they're going to straight to Justice League. And I mean, there are Titans without Cyborg, but we'll see. Again, James Gunn has so much information that he has to give us. There's so many things we want to know. And suspense is just actually killing me for once. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not a DC fan. I'm getting every time we talk about this, every time we talk about the new DCU, I get more excited. Because he's doing his job. He's hiring solid actors. The buzz around the specific, even just rumors have been, you're like, that's really cool. Or like, man, that'd be a good idea. Or man, that works. Again, this works. We don't know. The kid does it. We don't know. But of the age, of the look, everything, that's a solid pick. There's so much I want to know. I'm actually getting more and more excited about the stinking DCU now. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, look at the different talent that have been rumored and circling the DCU right now. You hear things about Anthony Starr from The Boys, potentially being one of the people who's auditioning for Booster Gold, I think. You hear things about Glenn Powell potentially being Batman, Justin Ackles, etc. Like the different talent that's apparently circling the DCU for different projects. You're right. This, I think, will have anybody willing to at least give them a chance. I think if we're at this point, if these things come to fruition, if you're not willing to give DC a chance, I'm sorry, you're just hating. You're just being a hater at this point. I mean, you're allowed to like more than one thing, and you're allowed to give more than one thing a chance. Like, I give Marvel praise when I see something I like. I do. I think it's been evident on this channel. You can see that. And I'm not a blind DC lover either. I can tell you, I dish on Zack Snyder's Justice League all the time.
It's funny because I actually like the cut. I like the director's cut. So it's funny how that works.
I'm saying you're able to go between both parties and both lines. And James Gunn and Kevin Feige are Chris Pratt part is going to be the one proving that. So I'm just like really excited, like you, Glenn Powell, Justin Ackles, Anthony Starr. Like these are potential big names.
Speaking of, I've heard some rumors about Anthony Starr at GalaxyCon and OKC. The man's a legend. That big shout out, Anthony Starr. I heard nothing but amazing things about Anthony Starr at GalaxyCon. I'm really excited to get down there. But if you guys haven't checked out GalaxyCons, look them up because apparently they put a heck of a lineup down for OKC, and Anthony Starr shined past a lot of them. It's very interesting to hear like the stories coming out of there. So
yeah, he seems like a really good person to meet, like a really cool celebrity to meet.
Absolutely.
So what's been going on in the gaming world, my friend?
So much. So guys, I know that some of y'all nerds aren't into the sports games, but you guys haven't been on TikTok and able to get away from the buzz that's generated around college EA Sports College Football 25. It's been 11 years and we're finally in a little over a month, if we with this post, getting our college football game. And there's been play. Okay, so over the weekend there was a play test with they got a bunch of influencers together to talk about it, play the game, and let them see it and stuff like that. And the news is good. 134 FBS teams will be featured. There's going to be a deluxe edition, so don't worry. You're going to have plenty to spend money on. They're getting paid. Everybody who's appearing in the game is getting paid. The Road to Glory will be importable to Madden, which is a nice feature that was from 14. Make sure you get your boys together for Dynasty Mode because you can take over a conference and play it out and see what happens. Online Dynasty Mode will be there, but it will not be cross-compatible for Xbox to PlayStation. There's no word yet of any fixes for that or if it's going to happen in the future. Just make sure that you buy the correct copy. 2K24 was not next gen on the Steam. Talked myself into a corner and realized that 25 it won't matter, so cut that shit. But then there's also going to be a new college playoff system. You'll be able to do the 12-team playoff system in this game. Stadium traditions, of course, are back in spades. You guys saw, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, I'll link it. But man, if you guys have not seen the trailer, it's back, baby. Better than ever. It does not play like Madden. It plays faster and more like the college game, which everyone's going to love. I've also heard rumors of a new engine. It's not quite going to be the Frostbite, or it's not going to be what I completely forgot what Madden's running anymore. But sit tight. July 19th is the official release date. Make sure you guys get your pre-orders in for that. I can't wait. I'm stuck. I've already cleared the weekend. I'm stuck. It's going to be nuts. Then I just got off a 2-week play test with Steel Hunters. I don't know if you guys have seen. They took over TikTok too. I don't know if you guys saw the links, but they basically put out a mass call and said, "Hey, whoever wants to test this, you can apply and jump in." I was one of the lucky few. Played all 2 weeks of it. It was a blast. I'm not going to spoil it too much for you, but in my opinion, think like Titanfall meets like Apex.
Okay.
And Fortnite. It's a mech battle royale arena. It's very, 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 very cool. It reminds me very much of old Mech Warriors back when it was legit, not like, oh my gosh, flooding with flight controls and stuff. This is a very straightforward, solid mech battle royale arena. I'm really excited for it to drop. We don't have a release date on it, guys, but we're playing through it and getting some bugs figured out. And we're working real close with the Discord, and I'll be updating you as we get more information for it. And as we can talk about more, we'll talk about more. But if you guys need the link to get into the next possible playtest, we'll drop that in the description below as well. Make sure you check that out. And for more video game news and any other things video game related, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us, as well as all of the upcoming wrestling stuff we're going to be talking about with Adrian, and there's a bunch of other stuff coming out. Just stay tuned. There's so much more coming.
This is where you want to be. But before we get there, I do want to mention a couple. If you're a simulator fan like me, like Sims, that sort of thing, can we talk about Life by You for a second?
Uh-oh.
Are you familiar with this project? So Life by You is what's going to be made to compete with The Sims. They put a lot of work in this, and they were like, they keep pushing the release date. And it was supposed to release, at least in beta, just recently. And they're like, oh, psych, and pulled it again. At this point, I think Life by You is like the Loch Ness Monster, where people assume or think it is this, but they can't really be confident that it exists. I don't think we're getting a Life by You. I think Steam is taking our money. Well, not Steam, but Life by You is taking our money, and just they have no plans to actually release this thing. I don't think so. I'm hoping I'm proved wrong because I've been excited about it. I've actually been playing another one that's because right now there's all these games coming out that are trying to take the Sims market because let's be honest, the Sims competition is healthy. And when you don't have competition, you kind of stagnate. And I feel that's what Sims is doing right now. But you have this game called Denizen, which is really, really fun, that I recently bought. And it's similar to what Life by You is supposed to be. It's been really, really fun. If you guys been playing Denizen, let me know what you guys been thinking about that. If you guys been worrying about Life by You. I know simulator games really don't get that much love on podcasts and on YouTube. So I like to talk to that community a little bit and be like, hey, there's other people out there that exist that are playing these games. So if you're interested in a person's opinion about these simulator games, I am definitely playing them. So let's talk about that.
Drop a comment. Let us know what simulation games you guys are playing.
But let's talk about some wrestling. So Peyton Royce is open to a Royal Rumble appearance. I think anybody is. So this is not really news, but I think you're crazy if you don't want that payday just for one night. But Peyton,
when he told me that, I was gonna pull that. What's his one of the Bleacher Report boys.
One half of the Iconics, or as they are known in TNA, where they're Iconics at WWE, and they were something else at TNA displaying. I can't. But yeah, Peyton Royce, get that bag.
I'm open to one too. I'll do a Royal Rumble.
Matthew Rehwoldt, also known as Aiden English, if you guys just knew him from WWE, he's one half of the commentary team. I think one of the best commentary teams in the business, actually. I really like TNA's commentary team right now. Has stated that he's only on a handshake deal in TNA, which baffles me because he's a cornerstone of their production. I mean, commentary is a big thing. So
yeah, you don't think Michael Cole's on a handshake deal, do you?
No, not at all. Like, you don't want somebody who's essential to your programming, in my opinion, to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, I don't want to do this TNA shit no more.
Yeah, I'm not contractually obligated to show up. So I love handshake deals because it shows to me in the world there's still some trust out there. Because I'm not doing a handshake deal. You're not contractually obligated to pay me money, and I'm not contractually obligated to show up. How? No.
That doesn't seem smart.
No. A handshake deal is, hey, here's a handshake and money, show up. Okay, cool.
Like, I understand how people like Matt Hardy right now are on handshake deals. I get like a short term, like, we'll see how this goes.
Like, once your pop goes, you're gone.
Yeah, I get wrestlers, some, not all. I get some wrestlers be on a handshake.
Talent. And like commentary's talent, but like not like wrestling talent.
But you don't, like something that's cornerstone, they'd be like, I'm not feeling it anymore. And no time to like switch gears, like
can say whatever he wants and not like catch heck. Pipe bomb, hello, do it now before you have to sign something.
I guess he's been on a handshake deal since day one, which he's been part of the commentary for at least a year, if not more now at this point. So speaking of partnerships that are weird, but have me very much intrigued, TNA and WWE, let's talk about this for instance. So Jordan Grace recently appeared on NXT, as well as Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page. Shawn Michaels has made statements basically saying that, WWE is talking to TNA is talking to WWE, and you're going to be seeing more of this in the future. That they're still working out what that looks like, but that they have every intention to have this be a growing partnership. If you would have said this to somebody even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, prior to Endeavor, they would smack the shit out you because there was no way. This would never have happened under Vince McMahon. Never. I'm happy it's happening. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for the business. And I think it's really bad for AEW. We'll get into that in a second.
It's terrible for AEW.
But This would never have happened under Vince McMahon. So I'm in it. To me, this makes a lot of sense. TNA films a lot in Orlando.
Yep.
The Orlando area. NXT is based out of Orlando.
Yep.
At Full Sail University. So this makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Now, who do I think we're going to get major players going back and forth? Not in the beginning. Not until probably maybe 3-4 years down the line if this partnership continues.
I mean, knockout champion.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah,
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I'm kind of eating it right there. But I mean, I guess
I'm just curious. Like,
I guess what I mean is I guess what I meant on the WWE side. That's kind
of.
Yes. Yeah, like, do I think we're gonna get like a Cody Rhodes in TNA? Probably not in the beginning. Maybe down the line. I think it's gonna be strictly to NXT talent, and it's gonna be that sort of partnership where, hey, we got somebody who needs a little bit more exposure. We're gonna have them work a TNA pay-per-view. TNA the same way. We have somebody who needs a bit more exposure. Throw them on an NXT takeover or something like that, right? Like, I think it's going to be that sort of thing where it's going to be people who they're wanting to build up, and why not have an inter-promotion Worlds Collide sort of pay-per-view to tell those stories. So I could see Ethan Page, for instance, jumping back and forth because it makes sense. I could see like Wes Lee, people who have these connections with TNA. Eric Young jumping to NXT, like showing up at NXT. I can see those sort of things. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. I'm also, my first thought when I heard this is I'm like, who they gonna let PCO fuck?
Yeah, I don't really follow too much. I don't really know too much about their roster.
I haven't messed with their roster in forever.
I know they have some quote unquote giants or big men like Josh Briggs, and
the first name that popped in my head was Joe Gacy.
Joe Gacy would be good.
Joe Gacy is probably the only guy that would even say yes to that.
PCO versus Joe Gacy, that would be
It'd be gross.
Yeah.
It would be gross. But there's a lot of other, like, I would love Nick Nemeth to get a match against anybody. WWE. I want them to give him at least a top 3 talent out of NXT.
Yeah.
At least a top 3 talent. I don't know who that would be, but I would say a top 3 talent out of NXT. And him to just get to show off.
Or have him face his former partner, Robert Roode.
Robert Roode's still out, right? With an injury.
No, he's just working backstage now. He's
working backstage. I thought he was working back from injury, but
no, he's fully ready to go. He's transitioning right now.
Gotcha.
But no, telling that story would be kind of cool too, because you have Dolph Ziggler, the former Dolph Ziggler, who at one time was considered a WWE loyalist, somebody who would never jump ship.
Kayfabe be damned.
Right. So, no, I think this partnership is good. And the reason I say this is bad for AEW, going back to that point, is because AEW's one of their Tony Khan's big branding is the Forbidden Door, right? That's something that he has bragged about. That's something that he holds on to. That's something that AEW fans hold on to, is you never know who's going to show up. And you can't get that anywhere else. But now that's not true. And I would argue has never been true that they have been the only ones. TNA has been doing this for a while. Other promotions have done this for a while. The Forbidden Door has been broken. Eric Bischoff did it in WCW. So this I was going to say
Sting.
Right.
Sting. And I'm like,
so
like y'all, he was with y'all. Y'all know this,
right? People are like, oh, he'll never show up in WWE, and then he did, right? So yeah, these
5 major promotions.
Yeah, he was in TNA, he was in WCW, he was in WWE, he was in AEW. Yeah, so
just because you throw a $10 million turd out there doesn't mean it's still a turd.
We're definitely not talking about Will Ospreay.
You want to talk about Will Ospreay? Go get the clip. Go get the clip. What I say. Waste.
He doesn't care anymore.
Waste. Like Barry Sanders playing golf. Waste. Like Barry Sanders playing golf at 30. Waste.
He is. And speaking of AEW, like the roster is so like, bloated, and we've talked about this in the past. And they're starting to like, oh, people, yeah.
You call what did you called it? A kid with daddy's money playing whatever dress up, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And I said it's gonna get so bad that it's gonna look like, you know, those old doll cases where you have the things on the wall where you have the little figurines in there.
Mm-hmm.
The ones you don't even play with anymore. The ones you keep in boxes. AEW is the Funko collection of Tony Khan.
It is.
Clip it.
No lies told there.
No.
And then Arn Anderson is leaving. Mark Henry is leaving. All these people that I would be surprised if Big Show ends up leaving. It's like all these people that he brings in as like the pop, the crowd. It's like, oh, look who we got now. And then does nothing with them or leaving. And
yeah, we saw like a giant beef get started in Wichita.
Yeah.
And nothing happened of it with Jake Snake's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing. And you have Darby Allin. Like, you're going to kill the kid. Like, stop. Like, you want to talk about carrying a promotion? There's 5 wrestlers over there carrying the whole thing. And 2 of them were out with injury. And you're going to kill one of them. Oh, what? You got Copeland shouldn't jump more than 5 feet in the air. He shouldn't even get off the second rope.
Broke his leg, yeah. At least we got Gangrel out of it.
Yeah, because that's worth it.
Because
bring it back.
Tony Khan likes to do a lot of winks to the camera, like, remember your childhood? He loves to do that.
Well, fans are going to stop paying for nostalgia. Like, don't get me wrong.
He loves to pop himself. That sounded wrong, but you're
throwing himself down a ramp just for a laugh.
And then like wearing the neck brace on the NFL draft. And
what was that Ben Affleck said? Fucking clown shoes.
I know it sounds like we're AEW haters, and maybe just a little bit, but like
it's not hate. It's not hate, guys. There's just some things I'll buy great value in, and it's not my wrestling. AEW is the Amanda Bynes of the wrestling world. All the best entertaining days are behind them.
Yeah.
So they should go back to doing nails.
I mean, live, it was fine. But I think it's more the atmosphere of just a live wrestling show in general.
Don't book arenas that you half fill and have to cut the cameras off halfway.
Oh.
And pretend like your arena's full.
Oh, let's talk about that for a minute. So people are talking about, you're showing it right before the show. You're missing people. No, AEW has a problem with attendance right now. They really do.
They've had a problem for a year.
We attended a show in our area in an arena that holds a pretty good amount of people. It's your standard arena. They were moving people, a lot of people, to the hard camera side. And you're going to be like,
well, and you're going to be selling out Lauren Daigle. We can get an AEW Collision sold out too.
They were selling tickets for $10, $10 to get people in that building. I know you're saying, well, WWE has that issue too, and some shows, some markets, yes, but not to this degree. Like where we in our area, in the Wichita, Kansas area, wrestling generally can get a pretty good crowd.
We don't get shows very often, so when the one comes through, people show up.
And this was like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. It was 3 hours of wrestling, 2 shows, a Collision and a Ring of Honor, and it was not necessarily ghost town. It was hard.
You could hear my voice in the highlights when we were at that show. I could literally yelled loud enough for them to hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even my direct voice. It was the echo off the back end of the open seats across from me.
It was a Acclaim segment. Yeah.
Yeah, the Acclaim segment, yeah.
It was the Acclaim celebration. That's the show we attended.
The 69th, yeah.
Yeah. So you can go to that clip and you can hear Brandon. But no, I think people don't want to admit it because they're AEW fans, and I get it. But you can't put your head in the sand. There is a problem. There's a reason why they're doing a string of shows at the same place in Arlington, Texas, a string of collisions back to back. And I think it's a bad move on their part. I see what they're wanting to do, what they think is going to happen, but you're going to have a dead audience.
Literally bored to death with you.
And I don't know if they're selling, one ticket gets you all 3-4 nights or whatever, or if it's like either way, I think it's bad business. But you're gonna tap out a market.
100%. They'll never want you. They'll want you back. Nobody will show up on the next one.
Or you can be like, we've had enough AEW. Like,
honestly, probably like for pro wrestling, you'll probably tap it out for pro wrestling a lot too. Like people will be like, man, we just had a wrestling show
5 nights in a row or whatever. Yeah.
Midget Wrestling Federation, I need you to jump in here and fill a void that AEW's leaving right here. They got plenty of talent for you.
And Tony Khan, you came out several times at Wichita and mentioned that you probably say to every crowd that this is the best crowd you ever had. Da 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 da. And you said we'll definitely be back. We'll see if you're even alive, if the AEW is even here in the year. Becky Lynch is now a free agent. I think people are reading much into nothing on this. People are like, oh, she's going to show up in AEW. I don't think so. Oh, she's going to show up in TNA. Maybe, going back to the partnership. But if she does, it'd be under a WWE banner. It'll be a WWE contract appearance, I think. I could definitely see that jump. So many matches. Yes, that's what I was getting at. Or even Jordan Grace. There's a ton of matches that she could have with people over there. Wow, that'd be killer. Just anybody but Alicia Edwards. I'm sorry I'm on it today. But
I was sorry you didn't say anything about Naomi. I saw somebody praising Naomi's physical attributes, and I was like, did you just comment on her butt without saying it? But like, you couldn't possibly be talking about her wrestling. But
no, I think Becky Lynch will be back. She's probably taking a few years off, spending with her kid, and absolutely. And she'll show up at some of the prize appearance. It may be at a TNA pay-per-view. But I'm telling you, if she shows up in TNA, it's because she's under WWE contract.
Cardona invited her out to GCW.
Oh yeah, I can see that too. She's all about that style too. So the death match blood style. So there's an iconic image of her at WWE. I think when she faced, was it Charlotte Flair? Yeah, where she was like, oh yeah. But no, I'm excited for what's next for Becky Lynch. But I think AEW is a pipe dream.
No, that's a flush dream. That's where she would go if she thought that she was completely used up and needed a quick cash out. That's all that is. Otherwise, she respects herself too much to go over there. That being said, she also has a husband who's kind of a big deal in wrestling as well that has to make a decision on what he wants to do. And with all the injuries, he may want to cash out real quick. And don't get me wrong, the best 401k, 401 con. Go tap Uncle Tony's pockets real quick and see what he's got.
He needs another.
Not have to work but once or twice a year.
He needs another figure on this shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like go cash out that way. That might influence her to do that as well, just so they can make appearances together and stuff like that and stay together. But that's only if Seth Rollins is ready to retire. If that move happens, we will know that Seth Rollins actually really hurt himself and is looking for the quick cash out.
I mean, all she has to do is call her friend Mercedes to see how that's working out for her.
It's so gross. It's so bad.
I mean, people are like, oh, but they're pushing Mercedes. Yeah, they are, but
they don't have anything else right now. There's nothing creative. There's no creative juices flowing. Everybody's ready to walk out of there. There's like, there's nothing creative coming out of AEW. And you comment, no, you're full of it. And like, you're catching all the smoke that Uncle Tony's blowing at you. No, not even a little bit.
I think Mercedes Moné made a terrible decision.
Worst is it won't be career ending because there's so many stinking promotions out there needing good lady talent. So don't get me wrong. And she's not a bad talent, but she is getting grossly misused. And my goodness, the racial propaganda. Like, okay, let's go with a PG version of Sexy Red. Literally, like, whoever thought that was like, whoever's in her corner, like her little like circle behind her. I hope she's getting enough money for this. And not
necessarily being a TNA fan saying she should go on to TNA.
See what I'm seeing from her right now. I don't think she's up to snuff.
No,
I think that's why she didn't get signed anywhere else. I think there was some issue where she showed back up and worked out, and they didn't like what they saw because what I'm seeing is not impressive.
No, but we want to know what you think. Are we being too hard on AEW? If you're an AEW fan, please try to be resourceful. If you don't, then I guess you don't. That's your nature, that's your personality. But if you like AEW, plead your case. Let us know your points. Is there something we're not seeing? Let us know. Like, is there a point we're being too harsh on? We're open to discussion.
I love discussion. Go look at our videos. I comment back.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Oh.
But everybody's scared of bills, so we have to pay them.
I'm just a bill, just an ordinary bill.
So it's time to pay those bills. So let's pay them right now. So if you look above Branden2K's head, you're going to see two,
not the beautiful Spider-Gwen,
right next to it. You're going to see two awesome logos. The first one is StreamYard. That's what we're using to stream on to you today. That's what we use to record, to broadcast both visually and audibly. You're able to split the two and work on both of them separately in your preferred editing studio. Very, very fun, very, very good. You also can multi-stream to different platforms and much more. They're always adding new features. So if you're interested in this platform, if you're interested in the pay tier, because on a free tier, you're only allowed to stream to one source. But if you get a pay tier, you can stream to multiple. If you want to save on your first month on any pay tier, $10 off your first month, go down to the description and use our link. You're not only helping yourself out, but you are helping us out. We are affiliate with them. And you'll be on your way to streaming glory. And you may get a little parched, right? And I may get a little thirsty. So you're going to need something to drink. And Brandon, what should they drink?
Guys, not only is this the last month that we have to go without a college football game, this is the last month I think that we're going to be without Apex Energy. We will back rested effect. We're waiting for announcements from the owners, and we will have links. We will have information about product. They're coming back with a vengeance. Stay tuned. It is the absolute best powder energy drink for you, in my opinion. And also, it is probably the best tasting. You know that toe fungus aftertaste you get from the G Fuel? You don't get it with this. They are meticulous with their formulations, and they take care of everything for you. All you gotta do is dump it in your water, shake it up. And I even put in some Sprite, so kind of caffeinate my Sprite. It's fire. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll have more information and a link for you guys to save some money on it as well. So stay tuned. As always, guys, this has been Branden2K. That's DatNerdADC. Take us out, bub.
We love you. We love this community. All the nerds need to unite. And as always, I say this at the end of every stream because I believe it. It's not words you should be ashamed of. So let's preach it high and proud. Keep it nerdy.